Hello, welcome to the world premiere of the Country Day School's production of our brand new musical, Searching for Greta. Before we begin our show, I want to acknowledge that the beautiful land that the school sits upon is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Métis, and the Mississaugas of the Credit River. We thank them so much for the stewardship of this land and for the honor of presenting this story to you on their traditional territory. Enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Sunnyside. Sunnyside is my hometown, and my hometown is, well, just about perfect. I love it here. We love it here. The sky is always gray, the grass is always brown, and the fish float on top of the surface of the lake, so their natural beauty is always there for all to see. I mostly love the blackbirds chasing each other around the smokestacks, or sitting on my windowsill in the morning, coughing. There's no downside to living in Sunnyside. The sky is always gray and the grass is shriveled brown. Worries melt away like the glacier on Sunnyside Hill. And love flows down like sludge from a chemical spill. You can keep the lights of Paris and all its stinky cheese. Sunnyside's got the stink that we all need. Here in Sunnyside, everyone watches out for each other and works as one big team. Let's meet some of them now. Oh, hi, Mr. Viscus.
Hi there, Greta.
Mr. Viscus is our supervisor for wetlands preservation. Mr. Viscus, that's an awfully big barrel you have there. Why don't you tell our new friends what you're up to?
Sure, Greta, I'd be happy to. Hi, everyone. This barrel is full of food for the fish in Lake Sunnyside. All the local factories contribute their runoff, be it lead, mercury, or microplastics, so nothing goes to waste. It keeps the fish afloat and gives them that healthy glow.
Want to sing about it, Mr. Viscus?
Would I? Does a deer have 2 heads and 5 legs?
Absolutely.
When I was a kid, fish are something you never see. They were trapped underwater, barely able to breathe. Now our cocktail of syrupy goodness really sticks to their gills. Now they shimmer on the water, bringing joy to the boys and the girls. It takes a village to raise a fish to a place where we can agree. If you do right by a fish,
You do right by me.
right on, Greta, well, I better go. These fish won't feed themselves.
Because all their natural food is dead.
Well, not every creature is as conscientious about the environment as people are. Bye, everyone.
See, what did I tell you? I just love this town. There's no downside to living in Sunnyside.
Only upside to living in Sunnyside. Timber, timber. Everything is cheap and wellness comes in a box. Retail therapy. And all the fuel you need is ready to be freed from the rocks. Frack, frack, set it free. You can keep your solar panels and beaches of old Mexico.
'Cause we prefer the things that we
Already know.
As you can tell, our lifestyle in Sunnyside is based only on the most accurate and up-to-date data, gathered and interpreted by our very own laboratory genius, Faux Scientifique. She's French, so she's super picky about what wine goes with what food and whether soup should be served in the summertime, but she's also picky about what's true and what isn't. As you can see, she's also glamorous and exotic, with cheekbones so high they have to be insured as a falling hazard. Wow, if she wasn't a scientist, I believe almost anything she'd say.
Sunnyside, bonjour Sunnyside. For those who want to know, the latest studies show overwhelmingly, reassuringly, the lead pipes in your homes have led to healthy bones. Santé Sunnyside, bon chance Sunnyside.
See? And to keep our taxes low and her research unbiased by special interest groups, her salary is paid at his own expense by Flint Carbide, the billionaire owner of Sunnyside's mine and coal-fired power plant. Isn't that generous of him? He's rich, which means he's successful, which means he's a good person, which means he must know what's best for us.
Sunnyside, hello Sunnyside. Every person that I see,
Who, me?
I see as family.
Huzzah!
Oh Sunnyside,
Oh, Flint TD!
citizens of Sunnyside.
All hail to thee!
Without me you can see just how lost you would be. Stay in line or I will crush you like a nut.
What?
Stay in line or I will crush you like a nut. Did I just say that out loud? Breaking news.
And to ensure no special interest groups slant the truth with their own fake version of reality, Mr. Carbide has also created and financed our own secure media ecosystem, where only the truth gets in through Weasel News.
Good evening, Sunnyside.
Good evening!
I'm Fib Wilson.
And I'm JoJo Doublespeak, and this is Weasel News Tonight.
We saw in downtown Sunnyside where billionaire mining magnate and regular person just like you, Flint Carbide, made what seemed to be controversial remarks at his latest rally.
Let's go to Mr. Carbide's media specialist algorithm to find out exactly what Mr. Carbide actually said.
Thank you, Fib and JoJo. I appreciate you having me on to clarify exactly what Mr. Carbide actually said.
I remember what he said. I remember what he said because it rhymed. He said, without me you can see just how lost you could be. Stay in line or I will crush you like a nut.
The triangulation of frequencies in this particular acoustic space, coupled with the fact that the words people heard were not exactly the words Mr. Carbide actually said, has led to this attack on Mr. Carbide's character.
Attack?
I'm sure, Mr.
Everyman?
I'm sure, Mr. Everyman, that when you reflect on what was said through the lens of keeping your job, home, and food on the table for your family, you would agree that exactly what Mr. Carbide actually said was, without you, I can see just how lost I would be. You are divine or I'm a mushy monkey's butt. Isn't that right? Go ahead and check your Litter feed to confirm.
Okay. Scrolling. Here it is. Without you, I can see, yada yada yada, mushy monkey's butt. If it's on social media, it must be true.
Exactly, Mr. Everyman. Litter never lies. Fib, Jojo, your audience can also check Dumpstagram, Wastebook, Fact Chat, and of course, Smug Talk. All would confirm exactly what Mr. Carbide actually said.
Thanks so much for your time, Mr. Gortham.
Not at all. And just to ensure that there are no hard feelings, and to provide a distraction from further questions, Mr. Carbide has also immediately arranged a parade to honor our mining heroes.
Hooray! Wonderful.
And also, if I may, it's important natural gas leaches into our groundwater. Otherwise, you'd never be able to light your faucet in the winter.
Another Weasel News exclusive. Thank you, Mr. Gortham.
Not at all.
Okay, Greta, back to you for the parade.
No way! I'm a part of the Weasel News team. See what I mean? I just love this town. There's no downside to living in Sunnyside. Where the blackbirds are a symbol of our giddy up, get up and go. Blackbirds, go, go, go. My mom is a hero to everybody in this town. Hip, 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 hooray. And I would rather die than let my mother down. 'Cause it was just 5 years ago when my father left us alone, like a blackbird flying from my windowsill. Took his pain and brushes as he left us for the big wide world, leaving this coat and the big hole inside of me. And my mom would say,
There's no downside to living in Sunnyside.
no downside to living in Sunnyside.
There's no downside to living in Sunnyside.
No downside to living in Sunnyside.
No downside to living in Sunnyside.
No downside to living in Sunnyside. There's no downside to living in Sunnyside. There's no downside to living in Sunnyside. The sky is always gray and the grass is shrivelly brown. Worries melt away like the glacier on Sunnyside Hill. And love flows down like sludge from a chemical spill. Give us blackbirds in the sky and the miners under the ground. Give us fish floating on the lake and smokestacks under the clouds. You can have your 7 wonders, just leave us our little town. 'Cause there's no downside to living in sunny. It's a blackbird. Stand back, everybody. I know first aid. Its heart, it's still beating. Come on, little bird. Come on. Its color, it's coming off. Mom, what color is this?
It's called yellow.
Mom, this isn't a blackbird, is it?
No.
Mom, what kind of bird is this?
It's called a canary. They used to use them down in the mines to see if,
To see what? To test what? Mom? Mom! Come on, little bird. Come on. Little bird. Little bird. Little bird coughing on my windowsill, now so quiet, lying still, swirling round the chimney stacks, now lying broken on your back. If you're not who I thought you were, then who am I, little bird? I thought that I was truly free until you fell in front of me. And when I pushed the black away, that if I take the sky from you, I take everything that made you you. And what does that make me? What does that make me? Little bird, little bird, teach me how to fly. I want to live, not just survive. I want a life that's not a lie, but lies are all I know. Did I take the sky from you? Take everything that made you you. Can I become what I meant to be if there is no place for me? Little bird, teach us how to fly. Little bird, tell me, who am I? Tell me. Little bird, tell me. Little bird, tell me. Little bird, tell me.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I am 16 years old. I come from Sweden, and I want you to panic. Around the year 2030, we will be in a position where we set off an irreversible chain reaction that will most likely lead to the end of our civilization as we know it. That is, unless, in that time, permanent and unprecedented changes in all aspects of society have taken place, including a reduction of our CO2 emissions by at least 50%. These projections are backed up by scientific facts concluded by all nations through the IPCC. You cannot ignore the scientists or the science or the millions of school-striking children. I beg you, please do not fail on this. Adults keep saying we owe it to the young people to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act. I want you to act as if you would in a crisis. I want you to act as if the house was on fire. Because it is.
Mom? Vibrational information silo.
You mean silo?
Exactement.
Exactly.
You say potato and I say pomme de terre.
It was probably one of those Peruvian eco-terrorists. They must have hacked into our system.
You mean a Peruvian farmer whose livelihood has been destroyed due to a wanton destruction of the environment?
Exactement.
It looks like the eco-virus is spreading throughout the town.
Kids are always more susceptible to the truth, especially when it gets into their ears and eyes.
Exactly. We need to set up some misinterpreted data immediately. Heavy on the fromage.
Fib, Jojo,
Bib Wilson.
and Jojo Doublespeak, your Weasel News team at your service.
Set your teleprompters on spin. We got some things we need people to unhear and unsee.
Your truth, your way. Got it.
Alright, what's going on up here?
Just a little system breach, sir.
I seem to remember an unsinkable ship that was sunk by a little hole. Every little breach can be an iceberg, Al, and must be crushed accordingly.
Exactly.
Let me guess, that little Scandinavian kid again.
I'm afraid so, sir.
Well, stop being afraid and do something about it. Find and fix that hole. I'll hop on my litter feed and do some name calling. It's worked for me since the 5th grade. It's not about what's right and what's wrong, but how we make the town sing along. The winds of change are blown by me, 'cause I'm the one who controls the feed.
Misinformation ready, sir.
Perfect. I found the hack hole. Fib and Jojo standing by?
Fib and Jojo standing by.
That's how you kill the seeds of doubt.
Take your kindness and put it away. Save your walls for a rainy day. Just shut up and do what you're told, and you'll sleep on a bed of gold.
Mom!
How I love to crush the souls of little children.
In 3, 2, 1.
And that's how you kill the seeds of doubt.
Good evening, Sunnyside.
Good evening.
I'm Fib Wilson,
And I'm Jojo Doublespeak.
and this is Breaking Weasel News. This afternoon, one of our beloved blackboards seemed to fall from the sky.
Yes. And seemed to lose its color when given CPR by our dear citizen Greta. Yes.
Which would seem to call into question everything you know to be true.
Yes. Thankfully, there is a scientific explanation for this.
Here's our very own scientific expert, Faux Scientific, to sing you all about it.
My children, do not dismay. Little birds often die this way. Their color loosens, hitting the ground, and start to sing when death comes around. All's in order, no need to pout.
That's how you kill the seeds of doubt.
Mom?
Yes, Greta?
But you said
Said what?
a yellow canary. You said it was a yellow canary.
I was mistaken.
Mistaken? You're lying.
Greta,
You always look down when you lie, and your words disappear. I notice because you do it so rarely. Why are you lying to me?
Greta, you heard what the news said. Canaries haven't been seen here for decades. They used to use them a long time ago in the mines to see if, test if,
What, Mom? Don't lie to me.
to see if the mines were safe. The miners, your grandpa and my grandfather, would bring them down in cages. Decades ago, in the olden days.
And
And if the canary died, they would know that the mine wasn't safe, that the air wasn't safe to breathe.
that means it's not safe here. It's not safe here for us. It's not safe for anyone in Sunnyside.
Greta, you heard what the news said.
Look in my hands, Mom. It died in my hands. It's a yellow canary, just like you said.
You're wrong, Greta. You're mistaken.
And what if I'm not? Is that why Dad left? The air?
This has nothing to do with your father, Greta.
What if it does? A blackbird fell from the sky. But it's not a blackbird at all. You said it was a canary. Now you say it's not. You were mistaken. I saw a polar bear orphaned on an ice floe. It wasn't sailing, it was starving. I saw a sea turtle choking on the plastic we dump into our lake to feed our fish. I saw a koala bear running for its life from a wildfire, not running to a fire to warm its paws. How am I supposed to believe that Dad left because he didn't love? He didn't.
Yes, Greta, people fall out of love. As incredible as it may seem to you, people don't want to work in a mining town working as a miner. They want to go off and paint in Paris or Italy or wherever he last said he was. But the roof over your head and the food on the table and the clothes on your back and that coat that keeps you warm and that you love so dearly, it's all because of that mine. Neighbors have died in that mine so we could have heat and light. It is all we have, and it is all I know. I didn't see what you saw, Greta. Maybe there is one polar bear out there that is orphaned, but that doesn't mean that all polar bears are orphaned, or that all koalas run to wildfires, or all sea turtles swallow plastic, or that all families only have one parent. You can't believe everything you see, Greta, and sometimes no matter how hard you try, there's nothing you can do.
There was this girl on my litter feed. Her name was Greta, too. She seemed so sure of herself. Maybe she can help. If I could find her, convince her to come back to Sunnyside, see if we're mistaken,
And what if
to make sure.
And what if she is mistaken? It's a blackbird, Greta, just like the one Dad painted on your jacket. Duty calls.
I hate that whistle.
Don't say hate, Greta. That whistle is the reason there's leftovers in the fridge waiting for you.
My mom is the reason there's leftovers in the fridge.
And her daughter is the reason she goes to the mine.
The great circle of life.
The great circle of life. Look, why don't you go down to the reflecting lake and see the reflecting fish and reflect?
Can I put her in a box until you get back?
Sure. I think there's a box of Dad's old paint rigs down here.
Good night, sweet princess. And may flights of angels cough thee to thy rest.
We can talk more when I get home.
See you in 12 hours?
See you in 12 hours. Goodbye, little bird. Little bird, teach her how to fly. She wants to live, not just survive. I want a life that's not a lie, but lies are all I know. Little bird.
Nice jacket.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Holy Sunnyside slag heap, you can talk.
Of course we can talk.
This is a musical. In every musical, there's a group of adorable woodland creatures that help the hero on her quest.
Her quest? I'm going on a quest?
Sure. You're about to have a revelation.
And that revelation is going to get you very upset and determined.
But I don't have time for a quest. My mom's coming home in 12 hours. I have to make sure her dinner's on the table. I have to burn the trash, and...
You'll have responsibilities. That's why the revelation has to be a big one.
a big one. Look, this is all very interesting and slightly odd, no offense. But I love my mom. She's all I got in this world, and I think I've already heard her enough tonight.
Aww, isn't she sweet and loving?
And loyal and kind.
Just like her dad.
Just like my... Did you know my dad?
Sure, kid. He used to come down to this lake all the time to think.
And swim.
He used to swim in this lake?
All the time, way back before I had 2 heads.
And 3 tails.
And 4 eyes.
Wait a Chemical Valley minute. No one swims in this lake out of respect for you and your habitat.
Sorry, kid. Don't mean to be rude.
This is all part of the revelation.
The point is, your father never disturbed us.
Swimming is completely natural.
Unlike abandoning your family.
Come again?
My dad abandoned me and my mom to go chase some dream of becoming a painter.
Revelation part 2.
Your dad was a painter, Greta. He loved to paint.
But he never abandoned you. He loved you.
Then what happened?
Like the fish said, he swam in this lake.
A lot.
All the time, way back before I had 2 heads.
And 3 tails.
And 4 eyes. But he did love you.
Well, that's why he left you that jacket.
The one with the yellow canary on the back.
It's a blackbird.
You're mistaken.
Scratch it with your finger.
It's yellow. It's a canary.
Revelation complete.
I'm so upset.
Bingo.
My dad didn't leave. This wasn't a blackbird that fell from the sky. It was... My mom lied to me. My mom is a lying...
Whoa, 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 whoa.
lady. We can't have you using language like that. Current discourse is already toxic enough.
But I'm really upset. If I don't let off some steam, I'm gonna burst.
Understood. We hear you. We acknowledge your hurt and disappointment.
But that's no excuse for the lack of linguistic imagination and uncertain loss of dignity.
If you lose it, she wins.
We use woodland swears.
Woodland swears.
Woodland swears.
Sure, we take all our anger and frustration, channel it through creativity, and pop, out comes a woodland swear.
For example, go ahead. Hit me right here.
Oh no, I can't. I couldn't.
Go ahead. I'm as ripped.
Hey-ya!
Oh, feathery sparrow bottoms. I wasn't ready yet, you sneaky little lobster fault.
So, let's start over.
Yup, that easy.
Now you try. Close your eyes. Breathe. Now visualize a little bird flying helplessly from the sky.
Good. Now layer on your mother's betrayal.
That's it. Now, add on the fact that your dad didn't really leave you. He died. Due to the pollution, your town adds to and celebrates.
Hold and blend with your imagination.
Hold and blend with your knowledge of the natural world.
And go!
You cross-eyed, two-headed, radioactively toxic glowing fish!
A little close to home. But a good first try.
I'm sorry, but you're all the wildlife I know.
Nothing a little reading and practice won't cure.
Put a field guide in a knapsack.
I'm on it.
Well, I'm less angry now. Thanks. But I'm still upset. I need to go confront my mom.
Your mom's not home, Greta. She's in the mine for the next 12 hours.
But why would she lie to me then?
Parents lie to their kids all the time. They think they're protecting them. It's a human thing.
You're upset. Now time to get determined. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, my mom's a liar. And if what fell from the sky was a yellow canary, well, that means that... Well, that basically means my whole life is a lie. So I should just curl up in a ball and...
You wanna quest?
I'm sorry, everyone. But a wise liar once told me, you can't believe everything you see, Greta. And no matter how hard you try, there's nothing you can do.
Except go on a quest.
What, like go to Stockholm, find the other Greta, and convince her to come back and save her hometown?
Bingo!
I don't even know where or how to begin.
Why do you think musicals have various adorable woodland creatures?
To show you the world. When your heart says go, but your head says stop, and the bottom is an option that you just don't got. Are you gonna let your dreams sit in a pile and rot? You gotta get your Greta on.
Is your little Angie gonna be the one that could? Are you gonna make it rain or only wish it would? If you're gonna face your fear and get free for good, you gotta get your Greta on. You gotta get your Greta on.
Every peak starts as a valley, every victory a fight. You gotta light the torch to make it through the night. You gotta break some eggs to make some lemonade. You gotta plant the tree to make it in the shade.
If you're gonna be the one to make the monster fade, if you're gonna show the people up who say you played, if you're gonna get Beyonce on a second date,
I gotta get my Greta on.
you gotta get your Greta on.
Whoa!
Good job. Talent. You should go on the X Factor.
Oh, I can do that.
Keep going.
I'll have to try that one.
So cool.
That's so cool.
How do rabbits get captions?
Every stumble, every bumble is a chance to get it right. Every obstacle a stepping stone that leads you to the light. If you're gonna make them listen, gotta make a hullabaloo.
You gotta have a drink to see it all come true.
If If you're gonna be the one to make the monster faint, if you're gonna show the people up who say you can't, you don't have to be a hero, you don't have to be a saint. You gotta get your Greta on.
You gotta get your Greta on.
I'm gonna get my Greta on.
Bye! Good luck! Good luck!
Not so fast, little girl. Hey, I found it first. Well, in the end times, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So, biblically speaking, and the times being what they are, that's mine. Please, I'm starving. Pleased to meet you, starving. I'm ruthless and twice as big as you. You're bigger than me. Well, I'm still stronger than you. Oh, yeah? Well, my dad is dead, blackbirds are really canaries, and everything I've ever known has been a lie. So get your paws off my pizza. How did you know I have paws? Paws? You said, get your paws off my pizza. Nobody's ever seen through my disguise before. It was a figure of speech. Disguise? You won't run in horror? And you won't try and hurt me once you know what I truly am? Well, I'll be a dumpster's uncle. You're a polar bear. Wait a minute. I know you. I saw a video of you on an ice floe all alone. Orphaned. Now you're in the city all alone. How did that happen? Well, technically speaking, polluting gases like methane and nitrous oxide, and especially carbon dioxide, from places like, let me guess, coal-burning power plants? Yeah, right. Look at you, pizza thief. You know your stuff. Those gases get trapped under the atmosphere. And keep the planet warm for all of us to live in? A little too warm for me. I used to swim with my mom and dad from ice floe to ice floe, hunting seal, nibbling on the occasional narwhal. Narwhal. Anyways, it grew warmer and warmer, melting more and more of the ice. Distances between ice floes grew further and further apart until it was too far for us to swim for food. Finally, we were on one last ice floe all together. It was getting smaller and smaller until there wasn't enough room for my mom, and then there wasn't enough room for my dad. Eventually, you were all alone. It's gonna get too hot for everyone soon, isn't it? Yep. Polar bears are the proverbial canary in the coal mine. You know what I mean? More than you know. You look like you could use that pizza. What about you? Oh, me? No worries. Living in the city is paradise. People waste so much food here. What about seal and the occasional narwhal? Aren't you angry that you've been reduced to dumpster diving to survive?
Dumpster diving? More like dumpster dining. You know what ought to have a Michelin star? This dark, damp alley where the trash cans are. Isn't it neat? It's my favorite place to eat. Pizza crusts and banana peels are easier to catch than baby seal. Delectable stuff, so delicious in your gut. One man's trash is another man's dinner. I might as well be a lottery winner. Dumpster dining, dumpster dining, dumpster dining, yeah.
Okay.
Nanook. And you are?
Greta.
Greetings, Greta.
Hi. Look, I appreciate what you're saying.
Singing.
Singing, sure. I just don't think indiscernible food items are for me.
Oh, you think that's all there is? Wait till I show you the gourmet section.
Gourmet section?
Yeah, friends from the neighborhood showed me. Greta, I'd like you to meet the other members of my scavenging squad. Gordo. Bam! Rocco.
Booyah!
And Armani.
Pow!
Welcome to Mean Streets, little girl, human, lady, person.
We're here to instruct you on the fine art of gourmet recovery.
Billy beep bop pow.
This dark alley may not look like much, but it is the backyard of the finest eateries in the city.
The waste you've gotta taste.
Billy beep bop pow.
From the back dumpster of Jacques' Mediterranean Fanatasium, zesty lemon filet, oven baked, served with lemon citrusy sauce.
Yum!
From the rusty bin behind Rodolfo's rotisserie Ritz, we present glazed lamb chops, slow cooked to perfection, seasoned with rosemary and lightly marinated in a translucent balsamic vinegar reduction.
Wow!
Pazuzu steaks your uncle, hand massage near your strict, zingers up Parmesan truffle, bing, dang, boom. Tetra.
Mamma mia! See what I mean? It's not dumpster diving.
It's dumpster dining! Pow!
Marine lobster and escargot.
Camembert baguettes to go.
Isn't it grand?
Billy beep bop bam.
People never stop to smell the roses.
They miss the buffet right under their noses.
Bon appetit.
Nothing short of a feast. Pow!
You can have gourmet every day if you just stroll through the alleyway. Dumpster dining.
Zoop-de-doo.
You can have caviar, even without selling your car.
Dumpster dining.
Zippity-dop.
You can eat Kobe beef, even without being a thief. Dumpster dining.
Zippity-dop, didgeridoo, didgeridoo.
You can even find little white truffles without making a big kerfuffle. Dumpster dining. Dumpster dining. Dumpster dining. How? See, the destruction of the planet has some real upside. What's the problem?
The destruction of the planet. That number was so entertaining, I almost forgot. I can't sit here eating Russian caviar and prosciutto stuffed cordon bleu while polar bears like you are being orphaned and my town is belching heat-trapping soot into the sky.
But what are we supposed to do about it?
There's a girl my age in Stockholm, Sweden. Her name is Greta too. She's brave and fierce and seems to know what to do to make things better. I'm angry and determined and on a quest to Stockholm to find her, bring her back, save my hometown and then the planet. Wanna come?
Not us, kid. We're doing our part in the composting process right here.
But if you ever find any trouble along the way, send a trouble to us and we'll take care of it. You know what I mean?
Chili beep bop pow.
Well, I'm not one to resort to physical violence when problem solving, but if the need arises, I'll be sure to think of you.
We'd consider it an honor. Okay, boys, let's roll.
Sushi!
What about you, Nanook? Want to join me on my quest to save the planet?
I don't know.
What difference could an orphan polar bear really make? Besides, I have a terrible fear of open water.
Don't be such a pile of donkey tartar.
Whoa, you know woodland swears?
That's not all I know. When your fears make you feel like all hope is gone and the smog in your lungs robbed you of your song, that's when you gotta get up and show you are strong. You gotta get your Greta on.
When you're sitting on an iceberg and it just won't float, when you're feeling all alone and devoid of hope, it won't do any use to sit around and mope. You gotta get your Greta on.
You gotta get your Greta on.
I'm gonna get my Greta on.
Mr. Cuddles!
Aw, look, a koala bear. Isn't he cute? Hey, little guy, did you lose your mama?
Cover for me, or I'll claw your eyes out with my tiny paws. Mr. Cuddles! Hey! Excuse me, did you happen to see, disarmingly cute yet disconcertingly feisty koala bear pass by this way?
About yay high, leather jacket, sunglasses, so cute you just wanna, ow!
Exactly. So adorable. Words fail.
What my friend here is trying to say is no.
You sure about that?
But if we do see him, we'll be sure to let you know, Mr.
Conservation Dan, zoologist, eco-celebrity, lover of animals. My card?
If you love something, set it free.
Aww.
If it doesn't return, track it down, tranquilize it, and put it in a cage until it returns your lovin' back.
Catchy, right? It's the theme song from my award-winning ecological children's show, Swiping Mother Nature. Check it out. If you love something, set it free. If it doesn't return, track it down, tranquilize it, put it in a cage until it returns your loving back. Swiping Mother Nature, bam!
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah.
Rescue, research, and rehabilitation through confinement. I travel the world, saving animals from desperate situations, and bring them back to my private sanctuary where the public can interact with them through the purchase of a variety of VIP experiential packages.
And this koala.
Mr. Cuddles?
Mr. Cuddles, right. Is one of the animals you kidnapped?
Kidnapped? I traveled at my own expense and great personal risk to pluck or save him from the ravages of the Australian wildfires. Just as a flaming tree was about to thunder down upon him, I brought him back here, to Conservation Dan's Wildlife Sanctuary and Emporium, where the public could interact with them through the purchase of a variety of VIP experiential packages.
Ah, I get it. So if Mr. Cuddles disappears, so does your variety of VIP experiential packages.
Yes, you're quicker than your friend.
Hey, I think I'm offended by that. I think
we understand each other and can reach an understanding for, say, Preservation Dan, Orphan Polar Bear, Ice Flow Snow Globe?
Understood perfectly. Travel into the heart of the city. There you'll find an alleyway lined with dumpsters, just behind Jacques' Mediterranean Fantasium. Ask for Gordo. He and his friends will help you put Mr. Cuddles back in his place, if you catch my meaning.
Like a bear in a snare. No offense.
Really? You care about my trauma?
No. Okay, team. Let's get that adorable bear before he breaks some more hearts. Hit the theme song! Mr. Cuddles! Swiping Mother Nature? More like swiping right on Mother Nature. That creep couldn't keep his hands off me.
Are you okay?
Yeah, no thanks to that schnook. What's his problem?
Long story short, his tragedy has just been turned into a souvenir.
Yeah, well, join the club. I wish I was in a snow globe. At least then I wouldn't have people poking me and petting me and pinching my cheeks saying, "Oh, you're so cute." It's a nightmare. If I looked like him, at least I'd have a fighting chance.
Hey, that's not nice, kicking a fellow bear when he's down.
I'm not a bear. I'm a marsupial. I was raised in a pouch. We have nothing in common.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cuddles.
My name is Melbourne. Mr. Cuddles is the name Dan put on me because I'm so cute. I'm not cute. I eat poison leaves for breakfast. Mr. Cuddles isn't a name, it's a brand. I was branded so he could sell his VIP experiential packages and stuffies and keychains and...
Conservation Dan, orphan polar bear, ice flow snow globes.
Right. It makes me so...
Angry and determined?
Right. Angry. So angry, I just wanna...
Go on a quest to Stockholm to find Swedish teen eco-activist Greta to help this Greta save her hometown and then the planet?
No. So angry, I just wanna rock!
It's a short road to hell when you're short, 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 road to hell when you're cute.
Okay, now I'm ready.
To go on a quest?
Right. Let's go to Stockholm, find this Greta kid, get her to save your hometown, save the planet.
and then go back to Conservation Dance, Wildlife Sanctuary, and Emporium and exact some sweet, fiery revenge on that son of a...
Whoa! Hold your metaphorical horses, Mel. This is a family show. We cannot allow you to finish your thought, however well motivated or justified.
But Conservation Dan deserves to be called every dirty name in the book.
Well, not every name, and certainly not any old swear word. Only the most imaginative and derogatory terms will do.
We use woodland swears.
Woodland swears?
Right.
Look, Mother Teresa, my anger must be honored, recognized, and released through the use of unfiltered profanity.
Says who?
My therapist.
I think you'll find woodland swears much more satisfying and healing. The world is polluted enough. We don't need you polluting young children's minds, too.
Greta will explain through song.
God help me.
When anger is a burning fire inside of you and threatening to turn all of your phrases blue, the creatures of the forest have a gift for you to help you get your Greta on.
A woodland swear is there to help you get the knack of how to sling a zinger with your dignity intact. You don't have to be a bully just to beat a bully back. You gotta get your Greta on.
Yak scat.
Come on and get your Greta on.
You can keep the moral high ground and still vent your anger too. Imagination's key to take them down a peg or two. A woodland swear can be the axe that grinds them down to size
and release the demon that you need to exorcise.
Well, holy sheep-infected fungus beetles!
Hooray!
When your psyche is fermenting in a bath of rage and politeness is an option, but you've passed that stage. Well, you butcher with a clever or a dull cliche. You gotta get your Greta on.
You gotta get your Greta on.
I'm gonna get my Greta on. All right, let's go kick some hairy monkey bottoms.
Adorable.
Well, of course you do. Your position at the top of the food chain.
Humans are at the top.
Right. With the exception of humans, granted, is a position of predatory privilege from which you can afford to see every animal as cute.
You're adorable when you're angry.
My point exactly. You've obviously never been clawed by a male platypus before. They have venomous spurs on their hind legs. Burns like rubbing raw chili powder in your eyes with a fresh lime.
Look, Mel. Just because I think platypuses are cute doesn't mean I don't think you're cute, too.
Oh, no, you don't. Don't you psychoanalyze me, Mr. Freud on an ice floe. This isn't about me and any insecurities you presume me to have.
Oh, really?
Really.
The leather jacket, the tough attitude, the gratuitous use of profanity.
Llama droppings, here it comes.
All I'm saying is you seem conflicted.
I'm conflicted? A platypus doesn't know if it's a duck or a beaver.
Sticks and stones, Mel. Sticks and stones.
A mammal that lays eggs cannot be trusted.
Whoa. What is that?
That is absolute terror.
That, my woodland swear sensei, is the ocean.
But I can't see the other side.
Just like my terror.
Like terror? Like human cruelty? Pick your metaphor.
It's literally the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, literally speaking, it's a gigantic body of salt water covering 71% of the Earth's surface, affecting weather, temperature, and food supply for every organism on the planet.
It's literally absolute terror.
Hey, that glass half empty shtick is mine.
Goodbye.
Wait a minute, you can't go.
Look at me doing the impossible. Woohoo!
Just because we can't see the other side doesn't mean there isn't one.
I can testify to that. I come from the other side of the ocean. It's there.
See? And you know what else is on the other side?
More terror?
No, solutions.
To my terror?
To your terror, to the problems in my hometown, maybe some other problems too. Just because we can't see the other side doesn't mean there isn't one. But we'll never know for sure if we don't make a start. We have to... Just face the terror.
Face the terror.
Face the terror, or choke on it.
Wow, all this talk of hope and terror is making me hungry.
I don't think it's coming from in there. I think that's coming from down there. It's a sea turtle, just like the one I saw in that newscast.
I think he's choking.
Quick, sit him up. Stand back. I know first aid. This turtle needs an abdominal thrust, formerly known as the Heimlich maneuver. Clear a path to his torso. Heave! Again! Heave! Again! Heave!
Whoa! Stand back! Who are you? What's going on? Why are your arms around my sumptuous waist? Declare your intentions!
We heard you from the bluff. We thought you were choking to death, Mr.
Hanu.
Hi, Hanu. I'm Greta. This is Ninook.
Hi.
And this is Melbourne.
The pleasure's all yours, I'm sure.
As we were saying, we didn't mean to startle you. We thought you were gasping for help.
I was sleeping. I have sleep apnea. It's just my slumber vibe.
You call that a vibe? Sounds like you swallowed a wood chipper.
Yeah, and your voice is still raspy. I'm most bummed to admit that you speak true. My dulcet tones have lost their dulse due to this thing around my neck. Admittedly, it may also be restricting my oxygen intake, leading to droopy eyelids and a languid, stereotypically surfer-like speech pattern.
It looks like it's on really tight.
You're like the world's greatest anti-escape artist.
Yeah, a regular Houdini in reverse.
How did that happen?
I may be more of a croaker than a crooner, but let me try to explain. One day I was swimming around and saw some plastic floating on down. I thought, what harm could there be if I take a bite? Then suddenly my neck got turned and twisted. I got a new ring, but not for my finger. I tried to shake my way out. I took a big bite, but could not break it down. Soda gambling ain't for me. That much I can guarantee. In fact, it's a little hard to breathe from the plastic ring squeeze. If only there were a way to get this plastic ring off me today, then I could swim free again. Then I could swim free again.
I know how you can be free again, Hanu.
How? Whoa!
Boy, you and Isadora Duncan got a lot in common.
Isadora Duncan?
Look it up.
You are a goddess. From this point forward, I'm yours to command. Does that mean I'm off the hook?
No.
Honestly, it's not just the oxygen rushing back to my brain talking. I'm in your debt.
Well, I don't want to command you, but we could use your help.
Fire away.
Don't say fire.
When a stranger comes along and she transforms your life, magically lifting you from respiratory strife. You don't dither with her waiting for a trident bite. You help her with the quest she's on.
Well, since you asked, there is a little thing we need. Gotta get across the ocean and retrieve a Swede who can help us save the planet, bring an end to corporate greed. If you wanna help the quest I'm on, you gotta get your Greta on.
Gotta get my Greta on?
I'll explain it as we go along.
You gotta face the terror at some point.
I don't wanna face the terror.
Save the polar bears! Save the turtles! 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 Save the
traveling for days with lots of heart, but no plan. How are we ever going to make it to Stockholm?
Hey, look at that group of people.
Save the sea turtles! Save the polar bears! Save the koalas!
I agree. Let's save ourselves. Humans in large groups are always bad news.
Are you kidding? Those are our kinds of people.
Nanook's right. We gotta start somewhere. Let's go.
Save the turtles! Save
Excuse
the
me,
turtles!
excuse me.
Save the turtles! Save the turtles! Save the turtles!
Excuse me, excuse me.
Save the turtles!
Excuse me. Could you tell us how to get to Stockholm?
Save the turtles!
Let me take care of this.
Save the turtles! 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 Save the turtles!
Thank you.
Yes. Hi. We wondered if you might know how to get to Stockholm, Sweden. We're looking to talk to Greta Thunberg to convince her to come back and save our hometown. Perhaps you've heard of it. Sunnyside?
You've got some nerve showing up here.
Yeah, Sunnyside is the worst polluter in the Western Hemisphere, or what's left of it anyway.
Sunnyside? More like the dark side.
Believe me, I know. That's why I'm here with my new friends. They're exactly the type of animals you're trying to save.
Yeah, right. Just looks like a bunch of animals in costumes to me.
Whoa, things just got very meta.
And even if you were real animals, look at you. You got no eco-cred.
What do you mean?
Well, your friend there seems to be drinking out of a non-recyclable fast food cup.
But this is paper. I could recycle this.
Nope, not with that wax coating.
Way to go, Nanook. Looks like you're not getting saved anymore.
Not so fast, adorably angry koala. What are those shorts made of?
100% polyester.
Polyester is made from petrochemicals. Those synthetics are non-biodegradable and are inherently unsustainable on 2 counts. 1, its manufacture creates nitrous oxide, which is 310 times more potent than carbon dioxide. 2, making polyester uses large amounts of water for cooling, along with lubricants that can become a source of contamination. Both processes are very energy hungry.
All right, guys, I think we're done here. Let's just go home.
Not so fast, Turtle. What kind of shells are on that necklace of yours?
Just as I suspected, those rare wahoo tree snail shells shouldn't be removed from their natural habitat. They are an endangered species that play a vital role in maintaining Hawaii's natural ecosystems.
And you, little girl. Well, you're from Sunnyside, and that's all that needs to be said.
Wise mean.
Save the turtles! 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 Save the turtles!
Whoa. Okay, so our habits are polluted, but our hearts are pure, and we wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for her. I'd be back in some dark alley in a food coma.
And I'd be asphyxiated on some fine plastic soda bling.
And I'd be fine. I just wouldn't have a home to go back to.
Yeah. See, how much eco-cred do you have if you are going to stop a young girl with a dream from saving her hometown? You can't just save the world and then leave Sunnyside behind. They need you more than anyone.
We all just want to get on the ecology train to Stockholm and help save the planet.
There is no ecology train.
There's no train?
No.
Well, if there's no solution, metaphorical or otherwise, I suggest we all go home and prepare to die.
No, we don't mean there's no solution. We just mean if you want to get on board of saving the planet, you cannot take a train. Its carbon footprint is too big. Railway transportation emits about 0.2 pounds of greenhouse gases per passenger mile. When each car is filled with 50 passengers, you are 4 of 50 passengers, times 0.2 each per mile, times 3,925 miles, equals 39,250 pounds of carbon you would be releasing into the air on a one-way trip.
And that's not including my own gas emissions after eating train food.
Ew! Hit it!
If you want to get on
But do it all the right way around. Some itty bitty difference won't make us cry. When we want to get on board, you can't take the train.
What if we take a plane? Oh, that's way worse. A long-haul flight can release the equivalent of 102 grams of carbon dioxide for every kilometer it travels. It's not including the huge amount of emissions it releases during takeoff and landing. If you want to get on board, you can't take a plane. If you want to do this right, you better not take flight. If you're a mile high, then you're a mile off, unless you have a pair of wings that have to scuffle. If you want to get on board, you can't take a plane.
We'll drive then.
You can't drive across the Atlantic.
Why not? Well, there are no bridges for a start. Not to mention the amount of gasoline you would need.
If you want to get on board, you can't drive a car. Beep, beep. If you want your Green Street cred, better stay off the road. You know we can't even deal if you're behind the wheel. I don't want to hear that tire squeal. Well, if you want to get on board, you can't drive a car.
What if we take a cruise?
What? Cruise ships dump all the passengers' poop straight into the ocean. A large cruise ship generates up to 110,000 liters per day of human waste. That could fill an entire swimming pool to the brim.
Boy, that's even worse than walking downwind of you, polar bear.
If you want to get on board, you can't take a cruise. If you want to get on board, another way you'll choose. You know that under the sea, they don't want to be swimming in all of our feces. If you want to get on board, you can't take the cruise.
What if, can't we just swim?
If you want to drown, works for me.
Ugh, is there anything we can do without hurting the environment? What if I just stand here and do absolutely nothing? Will that hurt the environment too? Actually, yes. The average person breathes out 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every day. That means as a species we collectively add almost 8 billion kilograms of CO2 to the atmosphere every day. That means we add 2,920 billion kilograms of CO2 to the atmosphere every year. And don't even get me started on how bad singing is. Okay, everyone, let's hold our breaths to save the planet.
Well, all our eco-friends are gone. Guess can't save the planet.
If you wanna get on board, you might as well die. And if we're all gonna die, then why even try? If the world's gonna end anyway, why bother waking up to see another day? Well, if you wanna get on board, you might as well die.
I think what Mel is trying to say is that you're leaving us with no hope.
No, I'm saying God is dead and we've killed him.
Or that hope seems so complicated. Isn't there anything we can do that's at least minimally invasive to get to Stockholm? Anything in this whole wide world?
The whole wide world.
Wait, that's it! What?
The world turtle. There's an ancient indigenous legend that the world was created and is currently sustained on the back of a giant sea turtle.
What's the turtle standing on?
No, you don't understand. Its turtles all the way down.
Whoa!
If the world is sustained on the back of a giant sea turtle, then this sea turtle can certainly carry 3 friends on his back across the ocean.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for all the info. It hurt a little to hear, but I feel better knowing it.
Sorry we got so judgy. I guess the only conclusion we should jump to is the one where we save the planet and each other in the end. Everyone is needed, everyone is welcome.
All aboard! If you want to get on board, gotta get on the turtle. If you want to save the planet and keep it fertile, you gotta listen to what our ancestors say, they always know better anyway. If you want to get on board, gotta get on the turtle. If you want to save the planet, gotta keep up alive. There's no use saying things like, we're all gonna die. The only thing you need as a boy
woodland swear.
If you wanna save the planet, gotta keep up alive. If you wanna save the planet, gotta keep up alive.
Skilly beep bop bam!
Let's go, Greta.
Does this mean I get to poop in the ocean?
Ew!
Let's see you move it. If you got a voice, you gotta use it. And if you wanna change, you gotta choose it. If you got the power, don't abuse it. If you got a cause, start a movement. Let's move it. Everybody's got a light to shine. Come on, don't be shy now. The world needs our help. 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 Ooh, ooh, ooh. If you really care, you gotta show it. There's no love in your garden till you dig deep and grow it. Everybody knows that you reap just what you sow. So rise above the hate, don't sink below it. Come on. Everybody's got a light to shine. Come on, don't be shy now. The world needs our help. 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 No, 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 no. Justice is injustice and right knows. I know only justice is injustice and right knows. I know only justice is injustice and right knows. Get moving. We gotta do whatever we can do to make it better. Get together, make a plan, lend a hand, take a stand. Even if we disagree, see if we can understand. Respect, we gotta have it for each other. Gotta listen to each other on a mission to discover recognition of one another, so we can all recover from our troubles. And above all else, remember love, reflect. To see yourself in every other, come on. Everybody's got a light to shine. Come on, don't be shy to change. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. It's a freight train. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. It's a freight train. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. This ain't a bandwagon. It's a freight train. No more chain hanging. We gotta break chains.
Hi, everyone. Hope you had a refreshing break. Sorry for not making it more sustainable, but if we did, we'd never get back to our story. If you remember, Nanook, Mel, Hanu, and I finally made it to the edge of the ocean. And even though we couldn't see the other side from where we were, we decided to set sail.
By the power invested in me by the ancients, I invite you upon my shell, onto the back of creation itself, to sail the ocean blue. All aboard! Next stop, Stockholm, Sweden.
Avast, you mateys! I'm first on the poop deck! Face the terror, face the terror!
From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean in its majesty is plain for all to see. The sun is shining bright and high, like a diamond in the sky, giving all its warm and light to make everything right. This is so beautiful. I gotta post this for all the world to see, including everyone back home in Sunnyside. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see.
Mr. Carbide, we seem to have a situation.
Yes. Yes, we do. Al, you are interrupting my thumb massage. My litter feed requires me to stay nimble.
Does it also require you to fiddle while the Rome burns?
I'd rather fiddle while Rome burns than burns. My vision extends to the end of the day. That's all that matters. Admit nothing, deny everything. Legacy is for suckers.
Fo, go get Tip and Jojo. We're gonna need all hands on deck.
We're gonna need all hands on deck.
Aye, aye, Captain!
That kid again. Back like a bad Swedish rash. Well, if she wants to be Joan of Arc, let her. We all know how it ended for Joan.
Not that Greta, sir. Our Greta.
What do you mean, our Greta?
Bib Wilson.
And Jojo Doublespeed.
Yo, Weasel News Team
Reporting for duty.
Our Greta, sir, from right here in Sunnyside.
Enlighten me.
Her mother works in the mines?
Everybody works in the mines, Al. I pay you to obfuscate, not to be vague.
Her father was a painter of the formerly yellow birds.
Blackbirds, foe. Blackbirds. Part of telling the lie is believing the lie.
Excuse-moi, my mistake.
Correct. If you want to keep your job, foe, you will own your mistakes. And if you want to get ahead, you will own all mine too.
Oui, Monsieur Carbide.
Me mess up, a Sue mess up, as they say in old Mexico. Right, Mr. Colby?
Are you speaking while I'm speaking, Wilson?
Not that I'm aware of, so.
I didn't think so. Yes, our Greta. The minor of a minor, abandoned daughter of a starry-eyed dreamer.
That's correct, sir. And she's currently live streaming on Litter. Watch the monitor.
The ocean water deep and blue, salty, clean, and always true. The lifeblood of humanity and all its earth species. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see. From coast to coast.
A sea shanty. This is serious.
Greta?
And she has a crew of adorable woodland creatures, especially that koala.
I heard that! I will not be objectified!
This is worse than I thought.
She's really doing it. Hey, that's my girl!
She is broadcasting the blue sky, the golden sun for all to see. Ooh la la. We're sunk! We're not sunk! I'm on my way to Stockholm. That's in a country called Sweden. There's another Greta there who is gonna solve all our problems. My friends and I are gonna bring her back with us. Then if we all work together, we can bring this beauty back to Sunnyside too. Are you with me?
Yeah!
Then climb aboard, everybody. The fish that swim in the sea are part of our ecology. Our planet is for us to share. Our duty is to care. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see. From coast to coast, but not by boat, we sail the seas and feel the breeze. The ocean and its majesty is plain for all to see.
So a couple of snot-nosed teens, a group of adorable animals, and a sea shanty is all it takes for you to abandon your ideals?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Pardon me?
Yes, sir.
Are you speaking while I'm speaking, Wilson?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
I didn't think so. I am the captain of the ship, and if anyone's gonna sink it, it's gonna be me. This is nothing that a little fear, hate, and misinformation won't fix, foe.
Yes, sir.
Call down to the mine. Get me Mr. Kaboom.
Mr. Kaboom?
You heard me, mademoiselle. Tell him to bring our Greta's mother to me. It's time we reminded her how much she loves her daughter.
Excuse, Monsieur Carbide, but using the love between a widowed mother and her innocent young girl as leverage for your diabolical schemes? Is that not un petit crossing the line?
Lines are for losers, foe. And don't play the femme naive fatale with me. You and those dangerously high cheekbones of yours crossed the line with me a long time ago.
But I think...
I pay you to think for them, not me, foe. And I certainly don't pay you to have a mind of your own. You're just decorations, foe. Tough on the facts, easy on the eyes. There's no turning back now. You said we every step of the way. Feb, Jojo.
Yes, sir.
Get your faces on and get behind your anchor desk for some breaking news. Mr. Carbide has a big announcement to make.
May we ask what it is, sir?
You questioning me?
Your truth, your way. Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. Al,
Yes, sir.
bring me my flying lobbyist, won't you?
Right away, sir.
Ooh, and Al,
Sir?
plug in the litter feed before you leave, won't you? My thumbs are nimble and ready to rumble.
Do you need any help with the spin, sir?
Breaking news, Al. I never needed you. I just like using you. Al, the flying lobbyists. Al, my litter feed.
Good evening, Sunnyside.
Good evening.
I'm Fib Wilson.
And I'm JoJo Doublespeak,
And
this is Breaking Weasel News.
This afternoon, one of our beloved citizens, Greta, seemed to be sailing across the ocean on a mission to save the planet.
Yes?
And the sky over that ocean seemed to be blue rather than gray. And the sun golden rather than, well, missing.
Yes?
Which would seem to call into question everything you know to be true.
Yes?
Thankfully, Mr. Carbide himself has an explanation for this.
Citizens of Sunnyside, we can be easily fooled by appearances. Centuries ago, people once believed the world was flat. Why? Because it looked that way. They trusted in their eyes. And now today, we know them to be fools. And now you, with your eyes, believe that you saw one of our most cherished citizens, our dear innocent Greta, frolicking on the sea with what appears to be a group of adorable animals under a blue sky and a golden sun. It was a pretty picture. But ask yourselves, a blue sky, blue, a sun glaring down, no smoky haze to protect you, cute and cuddly creatures, especially that koala, supporting Greta in her journey, or a group of heartless beasts spinning a myth of their own extinction into manipulating that poor, innocent girl into leaving everything she knows, everyone she loves, everything that's true, to achieve their own selfish ends. Citizens of Sunnyside, I will not allow you to add your name to the long list of fools that have paraded over their flat earth realities. And I will not allow an innocent girl, our dear Greta, to be kidnapped, threatened, and deceived. And I will not allow Greta, however well-intentioned, to bring some foreigner, some teenage Swede, to come here and dismantle your jobs, your homes, your way of life, and your dignity. My team of extraction experts will rescue Greta at my own expense. And when she arrives, she will do so to a party the likes of which Sunnyside has never seen before, as we celebrate the opening of our new mega coal-fired big box power station run by Greta's own dear mother. Jobs and cakes for everyone. Yeah! Come and sing with your dear Mr. Carbide. trust what you feel and know what you see, and see how easy life can be. The truth in all its majesty is plain for all to see. Just trust your fear and not your brain. You'll feel as right as acid rain. Unsuringly is sure to flee. Just leave it all to me. Everybody, trust what you feel and know what you see. See how easy life can be. The truth in all its majesty is plain for all to see. Now, flying lobbyists, send our Greta home. I'll get you, Greta, my pretty, and your little bears, too.
Land ho!
All ashore. Who's going ashore?
I can't believe it. I faced my terror.
And I can't believe I pooped in the ocean.
I knew you had it in you. And you literally had it in you.
Up top!
We did it. Let's go. This is so great.
Hanu!
His lungs must be filled with salt water. That sound is surely a death rattle.
Stand back. I know first aid.
No time for that. I'll just pound him on the chest to vent my rage. It'll do us both good.
Whoa! Stand back!
You weren't drowning?
Drowning? I'm a sea turtle. I'm miraculous. My family carries the weight of creation on its back.
So, what's with the morbid gargling?
It's his sleep apnea, remember? Close, but no, Tsunami. I was meditating, giving thanks to Mother Earth for delivering us safely across the ocean all the way to Stockholm! We made it!
You most certainly did. And as the mayor of this fair city, let me bid you the fondest of welcomes.
Thank you. These are my friends, Nanook, Hanu, and Melbourne.
Greetings.
Aloha. Still bitter. Almost shattered my friend's ribcage because of you.
We're friends?
Don't flatter yourself.
My apologies for my misdiagnosis. We're working to improve our communication with nature. After all, we are a part of nature, something we have sadly seemed to have forgotten. We have a long way to go, but we're trying, yes? A long way to go, but we're trying. Stockholm, where the Arctic Circle weeps its tears into our own backyard. We're cutting fossil fuels and CO2 in Stockholm, recycling ideas into something better and new. Greenhouse gas will be a thing of the past if we all work to play our part. To make a change, we first have to make a start.
That's exactly why I'm here. Why we're all here. I come from a town called Sunnyside.
Oh dear, Sunnyside?
So you've heard.
I'm afraid so. What brings you here?
My boat came crashing down when a little bird fell at my feet. The song in its heart drowned out by the smoggy air. And even though we couldn't speak, it told a truth I couldn't deny, that everything I loved was built on a lie. And so, Mr. Mayor, I've danced with toxic woodland creatures, dived in dumpsters, outfoxed pseudo-conservationists, sipped soda gambling, and crossed the oceans with my friends to keep more little birds from dropping from the sky.
And polar bears from drowning.
And koalas from burning.
And sea turtles from choking.
A noble quest indeed, but how can Stockholm help save Sunnyside?
I've heard there's a girl who lives here who's just like me, with a name just like mine. She's got all the answers we need and is so good at inspiring people. I know that if I can find her, convince her to come back with me, she can help save Sunnyside.
And polar bears.
And koalas.
And sea turtles.
Is that so? And what is this young girl's name?
Greta. Do you know her?
Why, of course I know Greta.
You do?
She happens to be leading environmental protests right here, right now in Stockholm.
How fortuitous. There really is another side to terror.
Lickety toad bottoms.
Would you show us the way?
As the mayor of this fair city, it would be my honor. Sail across the ocean on a turtle's back. Left everything you've known without a sure way back. The least that I can do is help you get on track to finally get your Greta on.
When you need a miracle to help the blind to see, and the cure is a girl who looks a lot like me, to help them understand the world as it could be, we'd be forever in your debt if you would help us on our quest. If it takes a village full of people just to raise a child, then
and each and every village has to help to save the wild. Greta is the spark to light the burning torch of change.
Can we skip the flaming metaphors before I start to rage?
For my own personal safety, I'll say yes. Tally-ho!
All right, gang. Hands, paws, and flippers in. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna get our Greta on!
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Do you know what Greta is?
Greta is?
Can you help me find Greta?
Where's
Excuse
Greta?
me.
Excuse
Tell me
me.
where
Where's
to see
Greta?
Greta.
Where's
Hello?
Greta?
Tell me where Greta is.
Where's Greta?
Where's Greta?
Greta?
I don't believe it. She's gone.
Sorry, kid. I thought for sure.
That we'd find her? That she'd leave Stockholm and come across the ocean to Sunnyside?
We came all this way. I faced my terror. I carried you all on my back across the sea.
Steaming back cracks. I knew it. I told myself after my family went up in smoke, never let your guard down, never trust humans. They'll burn you every time. No offense.
None taken. I should have known better too. People can't be trusted. And dreams only come true in musicals. Why bother? Why bother? None of this makes a difference.
No one's too small to make a difference.
So you're just gonna clean all this mess up by yourself?
Not if you help.
Don't look at me.
I like your jacket.
My dad gave it to me. Or at least I like to think it was for me. He left. It's a long story.
I love the yellow canary on the back.
You can see that?
I see things for what they are. Sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's a curse.
I wish I had that superpower.
Technically, it's not a superpower. It's Asperger's, but I'd like to think it's a superpower.
Well, whatever it is, it could have saved me a lot of time and energy in believing in my mom. Turns out she's a liar and a fraud, just like that big shot kid at the rally.
Who's that?
You know, little miss, our house is on fire. I really believed that if I came all this way, she'd somehow meet me, you know? She's got all the answers. She's so well-spoken. I really thought that we'd meet, and she'd be so moved as to what I had to say that she'd come across the ocean with me and help save my hometown.
And polar bears.
And koalas.
And sea turtles.
Turns out she's just another paparazzi eco-influencer.
Maybe she would have loved to meet you. And other girls like you. If she had the choice and the freedom, maybe she just wanted to bring attention to a crisis nobody was treating like a crisis. But if things went differently, she would have loved to speak to you.
Really? What do you think she'd say?
That you don't need her. That if she can change the world, you can too.
In my dreams.
In your reality. You've already danced with toxic woodland creatures, sniffed soda handling, dived in dumpsters, outfoxed pseudo-conservationists, and traveled across the ocean with your friends. What makes you think you can't stop more little birds from dropping from the sky?
How do you know all that?
Your social media feed. Sweet sea shanty. See, you've already got someone following you. You don't need me. You're already Greta.
What do you mean you don't need me?
Thanks for helping. in musicals.
Again, very meta.
All right, gang. Greta's right. No one's too small to make a difference. Time to go back to Sunnyside and set everything right. Hands, paws, and flippers in. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna get our grit on!
Sit back!
Let me guess. You know first aid.
No, I just don't want anything to happen to you. Open me for curiouser and curiouser surprises.
Well, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Newsflash, we're in Stockholm.
Actually, we're in Wonderland. That note is an unsettling allusion to Lewis Carroll's famous story, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Why do I feel like this is a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down?
It's a phone. One missed call.
Don't open it, Greta.
I concur. The vibes are not positive.
Open it, kid. It's a musical. What's the worst that can happen?
For the love of Neptune, Greta, don't click on that message.
Click on the message, Greta.
Holy dolphin droppings. It's Algorithm, special correspondent to the Weasel News team and ever-present media Svengali to Flint Carbide.
You can call me Al.
Mr. Al, what brings you and your...
Associates.
Associates? What brings you all the way here to Stockholm?
You.
Me?
You.
Her?
Yes.
You mean Greta?
Yes, Greta.
You mean that kid?
Yes.
Me.
You.
Her.
Enough! Yes, you, her, that kid, Greta. The one in the threadbare coat surrounded by savage animals.
Hey, I think I'm offended by that.
We are her friends, and as you may have noticed, we are highly sentient beings who also speak fluent human.
Yeah, who are you calling savage? I crawled from my mother's birth canal on my own and was raised in her pouch.
In a pouch, but in the wild.
At least it's more civilized than spilling out of a uterus, Al.
What do you want? How did you find me?
Everyone in Sunnyside saw your post, Greta. We were all deeply moved, especially someone who loves you very much.
Who?
Don't click on it, Greta.
Beware the bling.
It's a trick, kid.
Hi, Greta. It's me. It's Mom. I wanted to let you know that we all saw your little litter post of you and your friends crossing the ocean. Show us the blue sky and the golden sun and how beautiful life could be. I wanted to let you know that I was the one who was mistaken. I'm so proud of you, and I love you. In fact, all of Sunnyside loves you, especially Mr. Carbide. He says that you've helped him see things more clearly, and he knows what he has to do. He has sent Mr. Grytham and his associates, at his own expense, to bring you back to Sunnyside, where there will be a parade in your honor and the announcement of a new venture that will change everything. You did it. You can call off your quest now. Jobs and cake for everyone.
As I was saying, it's a musical. What's the worst that can happen?
Jobs and cakes for everyone.
No more dumpster dining for me.
You're not going anywhere.
What do you mean?
He means you're not invited to the party. Isn't that right, Al?
Things are getting curiouser and curiouser.
I begged you not to open that message.
My mom's lying. She always looks down when she lies, and her words disappear. I always know.
Because she does it so rarely.
Unlike you. You look me straight in the eye and lie. You're a professional. Lies roll off your tongue like water off a toxic duck's back.
It's a living.
And do you find it rewarding, being used for a living?
You're coming with us, Greta.
Over our dead bodies.
Tempting, but I'd rather not go that far. After all, I'm not a savage animal. You're worse.
Did you hear that? It's ringing a bell. Greta, pass me your phone. I'll Shazam it.
Seize the girl!
What? Wait.
No!
Oh, Greta! Greta, no! No, Greta!
Now, if you don't mind, I've got a parade to catch. Pleasure doing business with you.
Likewise.
I assume I'll see you at the parade? There are kids in Sunnyside who are big fans.
Once I rescue these poor creatures and get them settled safely into Conservation Dan's Wildlife Sanctuary and Emporium, for some already sold out VIP experiential packages, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Great. Okay, Greta, time to fly the friendly skies. Sorry if our carbon footprint tramples your dreams. Extraction team, this is your captain speaking. Our flight time to Sunnyside will be instantaneous with 0 turbulence at an altitude of just right. For this, ladies and gentlemen, is a musical. And what's the worst that can happen?
Hello again, Polar Bear. No disguise now, I see, and nowhere to hide. Very clever of your little girlfriend to send me into that dark alley ambush. I'll admit, things got a little rough. But a straight rat and a mangy raccoon are no match for a man with opposable thumbs and a can of bear spray.
Gordo? Rocky? What did you do with them?
Oh, they're all right, back at the Emporium, waiting for your big reunion. Well, what do we have here? Hello, handsome.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm a descendant of the great turtle who carries creation on its back. I'm miraculous.
No doubt. And you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm a friend to all creatures. At my Emporium, I have a soda can necklace and swirling island of plastic waste just waiting for a turtle like you to ride.
And Armani? What did you do to...
The cockroach? I found him a new home. On the bottom of my boot. Skilly boop bop, bam!
No! You're more demented than I thought. I'm gonna rip off your kneecaps, deep fry them, and serve them with a side of chips.
And last but not least, hello, Mr. Cuddles. How I've missed you.
You're gonna pay for this.
Someone's gonna pay, all right? Hundreds of kids, all for a chance to cuddle you, over and over and over. In fact, I have a feeling there will be so many customers that it'll turn into a parade. Hit it!
Thank you, Flint Carbide Elementary School Marching Band. Let's hear it one more time for our amazing kids. We treasure them in our homes as we treasure the blackbirds in our skies.
Exactement, Monsieur Greta. And now, without further ado, we present our fearless leader and the pillar of our community, Monsieur Flint Carbide.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is a momentous day. With a flick of this switch, our Carbide mega coal-fired big box power station will come to life, bringing job security, prosperity, clean and affordable energy to Sunnyside for generations to come. No more fear, no more uncertainty, just everything you've known it, just as you've known it. But we cannot move forward into our bright future with any lingering doubts occupying our thoughts. In fact, It would be easier if we just left those thoughts behind altogether. Isn't that right?
That's right, Mr. Carbide.
But as you may know, there's one but well-informed citizen, our dear innocent Greta, who feels that your jobs, your security, your way of life, our way of life, is hurting the very town that we love, despite scientific proof to the contrary.
Boo, traitor!
Now, be nice. She is just a child, the child of our new mega coal-fired big box power station supervisor. The person who will be ensuring that your lives and livelihoods remain intact. Being the open and honest man that I am, just like the runoff from Sunnyside Glacier, I have flown our dear Greta home to present her side of the story to you and to her father at my own expense. Go on, kids. Open the bag.
Gift. Love it.
Greta!
Mom!
Nuh-uh. Do your job first, and then you can have all the hugs you want.
Greta, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for all of this to happen, and I didn't mean to hurt you.
I'm sorry too, but we don't have time for apologies.
Ooh, sharper than a serpent's tooth. It is to have a thankless child. Greta, the floor is yours. What would you like to share?
It's a new day, and when a new day dawns, the old day dies, but today goes on, and when a new day dawns, the old day's through, but we're not through. There's always something we can do. As soon as you do, what you do is done. But what you've done goes on and on into a new day.
Greta.
Mom, I've danced with toxic woodland creatures, dived in dumpsters, outfoxed pseudo-conservationists, snipped soda can bling, and crossed the oceans with my new friends. An orphan polar bear, an emotionally and physically scarred koala, and a sea turtle suffering from sleep apnea, but mostly from pollution, to keep more yellow canaries, not blackbirds, from dropping from the sky. To tell all of you, when all you know, you've already known, you're just holding on, you're already gone. When all you see, you've already seen, you're already dead. It's all you've as soon as you speak, each word is gone. But what you say lives on and on into a new day. And so I'm here to tell you that this man is a liar. So what we're doing here in Sunnyside isn't saving the planet, it's killing it. The smog from Mr. Carbide's smokestacks, from our smokestacks, is being trapped in the environment and is melting ice caps. Mr. Viscous, the runoff that you're dumping into the lake isn't feeding the fish, it's killing them. They're supposed to be swimming under the water, not floating on top. No! Yes!
If you really love your daughter, talk some sense into her now, or I'll be leading you and everyone in this town into the poorhouse.
Greta, I know what you think you saw.
I know what I saw.
You were mistaken. The polar bear, the koala, and the sea turtle that you say are your friends, where are they now? Either they weren't real or they abandoned you. Just like...
Dad?
Yes, just like Dad. I know you don't like to talk about it, but...
He's dead. He didn't leave, he didn't abandon us. He swam in Lake Sunnyside until he got sick. He's dead, I know.
How do you know?
An adorable group of toxic woodland animals told me in a disarmingly catchy musical number, so you can save the fairy tales for a musical of your own. If you really want to protect me and everyone else in this town, you have to trust me. Trust them, and crank the honesty up to 11, like this.
Our air is not supposed to stink. What you saying, don't corrupt our minds. Your faucet shouldn't blow flames in your sink. Saying so, better throw us a line. Lead pipes are poison, they don't lead to healthy bones. They are killing your brains and your happy homes. Listen, friends and neighbors, to what I gotta say. You've been drinking Kool-Aid and your lives are at stake. He's pulled the wool right over you. You are sheep falling right in line. You're gonna wind up on a barbecue. Come on, mommy, rock it with me just one time. Set yourself free and lay on the line. Make your daughter proud instead of living a lie. Carbide is playing you.
Come on, let's make some noise.
Carbide is playing you. That's what I'm talking about. Carbide is playing you. Thank you, Sunnyside.
That's my mom.
When a little girl is talking and you've had enough, and an angry crowd is lining up to lap it up, you gotta get misdirection with some shiny stuff. You gotta get your Greta on, if you're gonna get that Greta gone. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially the kids, it's Conservation Dan.
Thank you, Greta, for warming up this incredible crowd. Greetings, Sunnyside. Oh!
Greetings, Conservation Dad.
Let's keep this party rockin'. Sing it with me.
If you love something, set it free. If it doesn't return, track it down, tranquilize it, put it in a cage until it returns your love back.
Swing Mother Nature, bam! Thank you, Sunnyside. It's so great to be back.
But you've never been here before.
It's so great to be here for the very first time.
We love you, Conservation Dan.
I love you too, kids. But remember what we always say. Actions speak
louder than words.
Haha, that's right. And you can show your love to Conservation Dan when you get home by hopping online and purchasing one of his exclusive Conservation Dan endangered species snow globes. Collect them all before it's too late.
We sure will, Conservation Dan.
Speaking of which, I couldn't help but overhear that sweet but misinformed young lady and her soon-to-be jobless mother over there trying to convince this incredible crowd that the endangered species is you. Now, you know them from living in Sunnyside all your lives, but you know me from TV. And as an unbiased observer and a celebrity, I can tell you that it is not Mr. Carbide that is full of lies. It is this little girl and her mother. Did you not hear this young girl say from her own mouth that her mother was a liar?
Yes.
Mr. Carbide said he would always provide you with jobs and shelter. Has he delivered on that promise?
Yes.
Get your lobbyist ready. I'm going to pop this little stallion right in the rear, and you can play your promise back to Stockholm and out of your media silo for good.
And you can expect our next Carbide Company picnic to be at Conservation Dan's Wildlife Sanctuary and Emporium.
I'm feeling a lot of love, Mr. Carbide.
Well, actions speak louder than words, Dan.
Then get a load of this. Hey, everyone, look toward Glacier Hill. Do you see a polar bear, koala bear, or sea turtle coming to her rescue?
No.
What the?
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm a marsupial. I was raised in a pouch.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you do see a polar bear, koala marsupial, and a sea turtle coming to her rescue.
And yes, we do speak fluent human.
Impossible. How did you get past my security team?
We got by with a little help from our friends.
No!
We speak human too, Dan. Maybe you shouldn't have set up shop in a musical.
It didn't take a lot for us to break free. There were some very angry and determined looking third graders that didn't take much convincing from us to set us free.
And you? How did you?
We scraped him off the bottom of your shoe while you were sleeping. You, of all people, should know how hard it is to kill a cockroach.
Skilly beep bop bam! Ah! What are you gonna do with me?
You're coming back to Conservation Dan's Wildlife Sanctuary and Emporium with us. There are some very angry and determined looking third graders looking for a mea culpa.
And a refund.
No!
Oh yes, hit it!
If you pay someone, set him free. If it doesn't return, track it down, tranquilize and put him in bed until GT turns your money back. So give Danny's fortune.
Okay.
We got some money to return now, Dan. Let's go.
Much. I felt like I was having a horrible dream. And you weren't there. And you weren't there. And you weren't there.
Enough! Stop the insanity. Your dreams of a green and sustainable world are unsustainable. I have facts and science on my side. Spin it, Al.
If there's one thing my career with you, Mr. Carbide, has taught me, it's to know which way the wind is blowing and to never stand downwind.
Amen to that.
There's a difference between being loyal and being used, and I see that now. I'm out.
Well, you know what I see, Al? A studio apartment in the dumpster of media infamy with Conservation Dan, once our unwaveringly loyal faux scientifique, dismembers this urchin upstart to cold, hard science.
Science is not a scalpel to dismember, Mr. Carbide. It is a tool to heal, to build, and to transform. I see that now. Je suis dehors. I am out as well.
I'm still with you, Mr. Carbide.
Are you speaking while I'm speaking, Wilson?
Not that I'm aware of, Mr. Carbide.
I didn't think so. I'd to throw you off your own impossibly high cheekbones, foe. But there's one thing I can't waste on the likes of you two, and that is time. Okay, little girl, you want to play dirty? You and your appeal to people's hearts and minds may work with people with hearts and minds, but there's one type of people without hearts or minds. Lobbyists. Let's see if you and your adorably cuddly friends, especially that koala, have what it takes to move the biggest obstacle to society change. Government policy. Lobbyists.
Oh no, face the terror, face the terror.
I'm a descendant of the ancients. I'm miraculous. Either way, I've been called cuddly and adorable for the last time.
Remember, the other side is always there, even if you can't see it from here.
Attack.
Solar panels don't work on cloudy days.
Traditional power sources can also be unreliable.
Hashtag freezing in Texas.
The right mix of green power generation and storage technologies can create a reliable electrical delivery system.
Pow! Renewable energy is also harmful to the environment.
With clever design, green energy sources can be installed with minimal disturbance to the natural world.
Unlike ripping off an entire top of a mountain for coal.
Bam! There's no infrastructure for electric cars.
At one point, there are no gas stations. What we need, we can build.
Kablam! Windmills kill birds. House cats are 2,000 times more dangerous to birds than wind turbines.
Wow! Green energy's too expensive.
Renewable energy prices are decreasing while technology develops, while fossil fuel prices continue to rise as they grow more scarce.
Speaking of scarce, like your flimsy arguments, fossil fuels will eventually run dry.
While the wind and sun, like Mother Earth, will always be with us.
Boom!
Greta, look out!
Don't move. I'm warning you. Green energy is a job killer.
The idea that we can't have jobs and a livable world is a false choice. Not only would the world see a net gain of millions of jobs, but millions of lives would be saved that otherwise would be lost due to the effects of pollution. Like my dad.
We did it!
Hooray!
Yes, Greta. Let's talk about your father for a moment, shall we? Hypocrite. This girl's a hypocrite. She's no friend to the environment. She's wearing a jacket given to her by her beloved father made from 100% polyester. And as we remember from an earlier statement, polyester is made from 100% petrochemicals. Those synthetics are non-biodegradable, which means they're inherently and entirely
unsustainable.
That's right. Give up that jacket, Greta, or I'll expose you like the hypocrite that you are.
My dad gave me this jacket. It's all I have left.
He did give you that jacket, filled with lead-based paint. Your whole life has been a lie, Greta. We've heard you state it many times. I've always been transparent about my corruption. I've got millions of followers in my hands, all watching right now. Give up that jacket, or your eco-friends will turn on you, and your crusade to save the world will be over.
Mom?
Give it up, Greta.
It's a new day now. There's no time for tears. The past has passed, but the future's here. And the gifted lens is to live it now, so it can return and give again.
While I don't mean to boast, actually I do. You may have a new day, but without me you're toast. You see the future's a sea, filled with dread and fear. The end is here, you'll just disappear.
I've been to the ocean and yes, it's wide, but I know for a fact there is another side. When the power we have is the power we give, if we take it back, then
I can't live.
You've said it, I didn't.
Make it rain.
What are you doing?
I'm throwing money at the problem. It always works. I don't understand. Why isn't it working? What's wrong with you?
I have the love of my mom and my friends in this beautiful town. I have everything I need.
Love. It always ruins everything.
Well, not everything.
It's a new day, and when a new day dawns, the old day dies, but today goes on. And when a new day dawns, the old day's through, but we're not through. There's always something we can do. When all you know, you've already known. If you're just holding on, you're already gone. When all you see, you've already seen. You're already dead, it's all you've been. And as soon as you do, what you do is done. But what you choose to do goes on and on. It's a new day, follow me.
What's
It's a
happening
new day, follow me. It's a new day, follow me.
Viv, are you seeing what I'm speaking?
Follow me.
What's happening? My truth, my way.
Follow me.
No!
It's a new day, follow me.
What's happening?
It's a new day, follow me.
My letter
It's a
feed.
new day, follow me.
No! My followers! Help! I'm smelting! I'm smelting!
Toxic fish?
Yes, Greta?
Did you bring it?
Bingo! 1 glass of toxic water from Lake Sunnyside.
Plastic to plastics, smog to smog.
Amen.
You did it! And that's the the story of how everyone in Sunnyside began to save the planet. We started by forgiving each other, treating the crisis like a crisis, and moving on from there. It hasn't been easy. We've made a lot of mistakes. Like friends or relatives who have given us heat and light in the past and have gotten sick or even lost their lives. We're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices for our future. Like giving up my only connection to my dad.
Or cutting down of our trees.
Or seeing the reflecting fish less often.
Speaking of sacrifices, my mom did lose her job, along with a lot of people in Sunnyside. It was really scary, but they decided to set sail in the sea of retraining, innovation, and imagination, and are starting to see the shore of a whole new future. Even Mr. Algorithm and Faux Scientifique are reinventing themselves, helping to create a fact-based social media environment, and using science to help us convert to green energy sources.
Mais oui, I would never come between the love of a mama and her petit enfant.
Using lies to justify the destruction of the planet is one thing, but using lies to justify the destruction of love is quite another.
Ever since we rediscovered our self-respect, we found we can truly have it all. Thank you for giving us a second chance.
I know as much as anyone about that. We all need and deserve a second chance. Everyone is needed and everyone is welcome. Even Fib Wilson and JoJo Doublespeak stayed in town, helping to promote Sunnyside into something that was once unthinkable, a tourist destination.
There's no downside to living in Sunnyside.
The sky's getting blue and the grass is sparkly green.
The future's as bright as the solar panels up on the hill.
And love flows down like the breeze through our eco-windmills.
Come and trade a rush hour traffic for dumpster dining feed.
The Sunnyside's got the life that we all need.
And Anouk, Mel, and Hanu, unfortunately, it'll take some time for their habitats to be restored. In the meantime, they'll stay here with us. Mel is instructing the citizens of Sunnyside in the ways of forest management.
Light a campfire without a permit, and I'll pull your eyes out with a pair of pliers. Dip them in garlic butter and sell them at Sunnyside Organic Farmers Market as meatless escargot.
He's really strict. Nanook has created a team to help cut down our greenhouse emissions down to carbon zero within a decade.
Maximum 1.5 degrees centigrade planetary warming or bust. For polar bear and human families everywhere, treat the crisis like a crisis. Remember, our house is on fire. Don't say fire!
Hanu has used his intimate knowledge of plastics to help create Sunnyside's recycling program.
I've traded my soda can bling for some pop bottle swag.
Not only that, he has also established the cutting-edge outdoor education program at the newly named Sunnyside Little Bird Elementary School, helping to inspire the next generation of eco-citizens.
Okay, kids, what does Mother Earth need us to remember on our hike?
Reverence, humility, and recipes.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
And if we listen from a place of connection to the spirit that lives in all things, Mother Earth will teach us all we need to know to take care of her and all of her children. You never start from scratch when you're renovating Sunnyside. When you begin, you look around and wonder why bother at all. Hear the voices of the ancient shout, don't redo the wheel. Step out of your virtual world into nature's real deal. Mother Earth is waiting, she'll be with you every step of the way. But building a better world means she leads the way. Yes, Stephanie?
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher just like you and Mother Earth.
Miss Collins, that has a nice ring to it.
Come on, guys. Last one to the sunscreen station is a rotten egg.
Go, Steffi! And me? My story is pretty simple. I went out searching for Greta. Turned out she was here all along. Come on, everybody! There's no downside to living in Sunnyside.
Only upside to
living in Sunnyside.
Growing trees because our jobs are to keep planting more.
Plant them trees.
Everything we use is built to be used once again.
Recycle therapy.
And all the fuel we need from the sun, water, and wind.
Green energy. Give us the golden sun and the leafy arms of the trees. The shimmering northern lights and the busy pollinators.
be bright here in Sunnyside.
It's a new day. This night start breaking, in your eyes a line that will not recede. Uncommon to see the hope in me. On this night we're taking for ourselves some time. Reach for the shore we've dreamt of, waiting together through wishes we long ago believed left us alone. Ooh, 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 On this night we're waking to the joy that's not undone. Promises coldly broken on the shore we've dreamt of. And in my eyes I hold you, and on this night